What's up, guys? This is Lisa Ward. This is EBD Podcast. We back to return with another great episode. I got my team. I'm gonna let them. I got Olivia Tache in the building.
Hi, everyone.
I got Jamel Bay in the building.
What's happening? What's up, y'all?
And now we are blessed to have the ultimate, amazing men in the building with us. Kip Shu,
What's going
and
on?
we got Zach the Mac. Nah, that's me joking. But we're gonna have a great show, guys. If y'all have any questions during the show, definitely don't hesitate to ask us. We'll definitely respond to you as soon as we possibly can. But I'm gonna turn this over to my co-host Olivia Tache, and I'll get the show started.
All
Cool.
right, gentlemen, how are you?
I'm in a good space. Thank you.
Doing well. Doing well.
Nice to see you guys again in a different setting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Kip, I'm gonna start with you first. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm just an ordinary dude, just to be frank. No, I love to sing, do music. I've been doing it for a while. I've acted, done some plays. Come from a family of it, a little bit of history of it, and uh, that's just who I am. A family man. I love my family, and God always comes first with me. So
Amen. Well, I would say you're more than an ordinary dude because you've worked with quite a few people. You did Angie Stone. You're also a voice coach. You work with Jodeci, Al Green, Shirley Murdoch. That is a classic. I love her.
yeah, that was actually
David
that.
Hollister. And
Hmm.
like you did mention, you've done a
Hmm.
couple. You've done more than a couple. You've done quite a few plays. And Dougie Fresh, he's also a classic.
Yeah, that's a real dude. That's a real entertainer, number one entertainer. He's really
So I'm going to say
professional.
that's more than ordinary. That's a little extraordinary.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Mr. Zach,
All right. Hey, what's going on?
tag your in, sir.
Yeah, I'm Zach King. I like long walks in the park. So I'm playing. No, man, I'm Zach King, man. I'm out of Philly. I'm a photographer, videographer. I've been doing it for about 3 years. Unfortunately, I had some challenges and made a few mistakes. So, but when I came home, I decided to get into photography and videography and have opened some amazing doors. I can't drop none of the names that this brother didn't drop, but you know,
Nah, man.
salute you, brother. But yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be in this business and able to support myself through doing what I love.
That's what it's
Well,
about.
Zach, talking to you maybe it's been about what, a couple months now. You have an amazing story behind you. So I'm gonna let you tell a little piece of that story. But with that being said, I do have an interesting question.
Sure.
Um, how would you explain to someone who may be struggling to get over their pain and obstacles of any situation they may be going through in their life?
I think it starts with taking a hard look at it, the situation, you know what I'm saying, and being honest and being true to yourself. And just working from that place right there. It's okay to be scared. I mean, I was scared on plenty of times, but just because I'm scared, that don't mean that I don't do what needs to be done. So if there's something that's hindering you, that's preventing you from doing the things you want to do, I feel like there's enough resources and enough things that's out here to help. So it's kind of like, find the help, seek the help you need, but most importantly, put one foot in front of another still. Don't get caught up in usually the circumstances is never as bad as they possibly look as they appear to be. So sometimes once you see that and you understand that, it's like, you know what, man, there have been enough people who have come before me and have been successful doing what I'm doing or whatever the case might be, whatever somebody may be struggling with. And I need to tap into that right there. If they got through it, I could get through it. I hope I
So
answered.
basically, don't judge the book by its cover. You should actually read the book.
Well, yeah, for sure. Also, like I said, well, read a book, do the legwork, be honest. If there's an area in life that you are apprehensive about, do that, because it makes no sense for you to sign on to do something that you're not comfortable with,
Absolutely.
or if that's the area you might need help with. Like, your gifts and talents may be in another area, and that may not be it. So you could find help to get you through that right there. You moving on.
That's a good advice. All right, Kip, you ready?
What's up? I'm ready.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh man, it's a tough question that you asked, but I've said it to myself before, because I've also said that to other dudes that I've spoke to or mentored or just been in the presence of, and I think I would say patience is a virtue. Um, got somebody already chiming in. Sorry. Patience is a virtue, and just continue to move the way you move, but just what my grandmother left me with.
Okay. Grandmoms always leave the most amazing impression on all of us. All right, who's next? Who wants to chime in?
So why we thought that this would be great. I'm going to start with Kip first. Kip, what's your a lot of people don't know how you got involved with the EBD movement. A lot of people still learning what the EBD movement is. Can you please share with them what is the EBD movement to you, how you play a part of it, and why you a part of it? Kip,
Did we lose?
did we
I
lose
Did
him?
we
think the
lose him?
did the brother freeze.
Okay, I think we lost him for a
Uh,
second, so I got to wait for him to come
Hey,
back.
can I know
Um,
something real quick?
sure.
All right, so when he said, because I just heard this question the other day about what would you ask your younger self, and
Yeah.
oh, did we lose him? Okay. And
Keep going.
one of the things that I heard was the young you got to take care of the old you, you know? And it just made such perfect sense to me. Like, when they said that, it was like, damn, that hit hard. A lot of us, we get into a position where we think that, like, we live for today, and we don't think about the future, but there's a good chance you're going to get old, and it's a good chance that you're going to be. I remember I used to laugh at the 40-year-old dudes in my neighborhood thinking that they was old, and now I'm 40, and I'm like,
Listen, yes.
damn. Just the other day I was playing ball. They're like, "What's up, old head?" I'm like, "Old head." So, you know, so it's just the old you, just having that understanding that the decisions that you make today will affect you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So I
So while we waiting for him, Zach, interject with you. What me and Olivia was touched by when we met you, the the viewers don't know about that. Tell them a little bit in a short version if you can.
sure.
What was your disadvantage, and what is the advantage that you made out of that disadvantage?
Okay. So I went to jail in 2014. I served 7 years. I came home at the end of 20, like around about the 20. So I before that I owned a hair salon, and then just made some really bad decisions. Like, I got into a place of depression. What happened was, when I sold the hair salon, I bought a house with the money. And the house, I wasn't really financially stable. I was supposed to find a job and get a little bit more stable with that, but I wasn't happy at all. So I fell into like huge depression. Started running with the old crowd again and got myself caught up. So when I came home, my mindset was inside the whole time was that when you come home, that mindset of getting a job is dead. And I don't mean to be like, but I felt like you have to be an entrepreneur, because it's so easy to feel like the white man owe you a position, or you gotta get a job, and that becomes the thing that most brothers use as a way to recommit themselves back to the streets. It's like, oh, they ain't giving me a job. But if you're told that you need to be an entrepreneur when you get out, and you got no excuse but to use your
What is going on? The devil is a
that
lie.
Right.
my
We got
Yeah. So if you're told why inside that you need to be an entrepreneur and you need to use your time to think entrepreneurially, it put more responsibility on the individual now. So doing that, that's when I came out. I just said I'm going to make a living through the camera. Since coming home, I did just that. Have it been difficult? Absolutely. This been more
Sorry.
than the hair on, but at the end of the day, I know I'm on the right track, and I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
And your work is amazing. We both
I
looked at your work, and it's absolutely amazing.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And look, I didn't
I'm
even have to.
sorry, y'all.
Oh, it's all
I,
right.
I didn't
I
know what
ain't
happened. I just had
crying.
some type of disconnection or something like that. And I'm still on the joint, and y'all frozen, and I'm talking, and I'm like, hold up.
But we
So
can hear you, so
I don't
let's
know what it
go.
is.
But one
Okay,
second,
okay.
let Zach, but let
Go
Zach
ahead. Yeah,
finish.
Oh
let
no,
me
no,
finish.
no, no.
So, what was the advantage that you felt that did I miss? What was the advantage that you got out of that? The disadvantage, you went to jail, you had that experience. What was the advantage that you got out of it?
That I learned.
Learning how to be an
That I
entrepreneur.
learned how to live without, like I learned how to say, man, I ain't got it all, but I'm still going to make it work for myself. Like I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a woman when I came home. I didn't have clothes, so it was kind of like, okay, well, I only had inside. You only have but a few outfits anyway. So with that being said, I'm going to thug it out and make it happen for myself. I don't need I guess the gratifications that's out here. Like a lot of people, they
Right.
do, the clubs, the bars. I became a serious Netflix and chill type brother. I stay in the crib now, and I'm more or less, I'll have time where I'm in my room and I'm just working on my computer for long periods of time and editing. I lost the desire to go hit clubs and bars and stuff like that. So it became my advantage. I instead of I'm going to go into the gym and I'm working on myself and doing other little things. So you learn, when I did my time in New York State. So I was near
Ooh.
campus. So for the whole 7 years that I was away, I ain't have a visit, so I didn't see my daughter. I didn't none of my friends, out of sight, out of mind. So none of my friends supported me. I lost my brother to cancer when I was inside as well.
Sorry to
So
hear that.
I appreciate that, man. So when you go through them types of situations, you just learn to kind of be by yourself and be like really isolated and learn. I learned that no matter what situation I'm in, I could be up, down, rich, poor, fat, skinny, don't matter. I still got to live with me every day. So
Right.
with that being said, I know this sound corny, but it's like that self love is real.
Absolutely.
Now,
So
No
Makes
doubt.
you appreciate it. It humbles you.
yeah, it do.
Definitely does.
well, I know the one
Definitely.
thing I did notice with doing my research on you is your drive. And I know photographers have to have an extra drive because of the fact that it's always the moments that you have to strive to catch all the time.
Right, right.
How did it feel to be the only photographer when you got to see Dr. Umar Johnson?
Oh man, Dr. Umar. All right, so I I like Dr. Umar. You know what I'm saying? I think some of his points are a little extreme.
Right.
Um, because I operate for the mindset of do what make you feel happy. So at the end of the day, if you feel like you found somebody that makes you happy, by all means, who am I? So I don't get into that part of what he got, but the things that he was saying was so on point, man. And I love the fact that he held our community accountable. So many times, like I don't want to make it sound like he came at the pastors, but excuse me, but he came at the pastors, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he came at the black church in our community and he spoke on it and it was unapologetic. And it
Right.
was crazy because a few people was coming to me like they didn't really like him. Like I'll take pictures of him and they was like, can you delete that picture of me? I don't like that. And I'd be like, why? And I'd be like, just tell me why. Like, why did you like him? But what I got from it, they're just not used to seeing a black man in authority, you
But
know?
here's the thing
Right.
but this is what caught me was it wasn't really so much the fact of you being there and seeing the reflection of him and just actually intaking what he was saying. I took notice at the fact that you ended up being the only photographer at the venue,
Right. Yo, I
Mm.
wasn't that was
and your drive to take
part, right?
advantage of that opportunity.
I cracked the
What
party.
was the feeling of that?
I was supposed to be there. I called the contact person. The contact person didn't come they didn't contact me back. So I just went, and the one thing I try to explain to, thank you for noticing that. First, let me start with that. Thank you for noticing that. But I always try to explain to the businesses that you can have the greatest business in the world, but if you don't got no video or photography, it didn't happen,
Right.
So it's like, so you got to put it out there, like you gotta have something. So the one thing I did like though, and which was really cool, is they was really appreciative of them, me giving them the pictures and just them saying, like, I wasn't holding them hostage. I gave them everything that I took and just said, hey, tag me, for the most part, like one lady I spoke with yesterday, she's held me on the phone for 40 minutes and was like, I'm going to show you that I'm tagging you and letting you know. And that was dope,
That's great.
'cause what
Well,
happened, you love
when people can
it,
show you
sometimes you hate it,
appreciation of your craft.
Yes. It's
if
an
that makes,
amazing.
it's like I love what I do, but I hate who I do it for, because when I come out and I come out for these people, I want to be on the losing end of the stick now. It's like, damn, how did what should have been a W turn into an L? Now they're using me, So, and I always tell people, I'm like, listen, use me. I know that sounds crazy, but use me. I'm okay with being used. That's how God get his message out through his people. Just don't
Hmm.
misuse me.
No doubt.
Don't.
Right.
That's where the problems come in at. Don't misuse me. So that's kind of like my mind, how I. But thank you for noticing though, bro. That.
But it was just funny how I just took notice to it, and with you actually expanding on it, it really gave the importance to the backstory about just having to drive and take advantage of that disadvantage, because you didn't even get the phone call. You just decided just to crash the party. Like, I'm just gonna go anyway.
That's
He was
loud.
he was his own boss.
Yo,
You know what I mean?
loud over
And
there.
I think about two people. Excuse me. I think about two people that are very notable for that kind of drive.
Hmm.
Um, First one is Little Uzi Vert.
Mm,
Um,
Hmm.
Fat Joe actually made light of his work ethic
mm,
because of the fact that Little Uzi Vert was like, yo, he was like, I got all my opportunities because of the fact I respected everybody else's time.
mm,
He always
Mm.
shows up to everything early.
right,
And it was
Mm.
funny because Fat Joe was like, yo, he even showed up before I did. He was like, and from there he was like, it just brought reinforcement to the fact of what he lived by, because he said all of his opportunities he got, and he wouldn't have gotten all the opportunities he had if it wasn't for the fact that he actually was the first one to show up.
wow, that's dope.
Right.
Then the other
Real.
person is the
That's
late
real.
Nipsey Hussle. When
Mm,
Nipsey was like, yo, he was like, the only thing that made me different than everybody else was my drive. I
right,
never quit.
right,
And he's like, he's like, I literally went, he said he literally went through every emotion possible when it came to coming up.
right,
He felt every feeling: high, happy, sad, frustration, angry, depressed. He went through it all.
right, right,
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's real. A lot of artists have said that.
right,
A lot of artists have said that. That's out there that you know and you cheer for. That I've spoken with, chill with, thought I was down with, and they always, said that and was like, "Yo, you never down till you down."
right,
Like the thing is a grind. Um, it's so underappreciated because we see everything else. Like we see the glamour, we see the glitz with some things, but we never they'll get a chance to appreciate the grind that it gets to get to that. So I think sometimes mentally it takes artists certain places because they don't been through so much of the hustle sometimes that when they get there, they're like, yo, I'm lavish, I'm this, I'm
right,
that, and rather
right.
than what I mean, trying to pull back and be a little bit more reserved to just show like that it's really more to this, and how I got here is
Right.
more important than me just being here.
Well, I
No,
always say you can't have a testimony without the test.
You
right,
So
cannot.
true. So true.
true.
No one has ever succeeded without failing.
That's right.
Right.
So what I'm going to interject. So Kip, we gonna come to you because you gonna close us
Yeah,
out with the
something's going on
question.
around here. It's something
But
definitely going on. I'm like,
but
this is bananas.
you gonna close us
Bananas.
out. But I got one more question for Zach, and it's gonna come back to you,
Okay,
Kip.
no doubt.
Zach, you read the chapter Pain in the book. You read a part of it, or hopefully the all of it. How did you feel that it related to you? What did that story even do for you when you read a part of the first book that we have out?
Yeah, it's a lot of self reflection. To be quite honest with you, when you read that, it's like you got to open yourself up. You got to be vulnerable again.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
as a man and been through some things, it's like, damn. But it's necessary in order to heal. So I appreciate the opportunity to you know, I learned to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. You know, that's another
Yeah.
thing about being at your disadvantage. It's just like you got to learn just to kind of like lean into it, lean into the pain. And so I appreciate reading it and just being able to go down certain avenues that I felt like I have closed. You know, because in order to heal, you have. I mean, there's a side that you got to move forward and just say, you know, forget it, just got to move. But you got to know what was your triggers are too. So I think that's what one of the things that was like most, you know, bringing to me like that. I'm now thinking about things that I may not have chose or thought about otherwise, but I'm glad that I
Yep.
did. Oh.
You hit the nail on a hammer. That hammer on the nail, however they say
Right, right, right.
that.
So, you know, but and then also too, when it comes to drive, I mean, just having that mindset, like see, like little Uzi know, or just like all of us know, you know, there's I wanted to get a tattoo that says Calvary isn't coming, you know. And the reason why I said that is because like if you look at the old Marvel, well, not old, but the Marvel movies and the old cowboy movies, when the hero
Mm-hmm.
gets in a tight position, it's coming, like, you know what I'm saying? And they're rescuing them. But the reality is, man, there's no one coming to rescue you. So
Right.
it's like, you know, you
Yourself.
your own Calvary
Right.
out here. So it's like, you know, so with that being said, you know I have the thing where if I don't kill, I don't eat. You know, I can't get a regular job. My record is screwed up. There's no getting a regular job. You know, there's no walking in an office building. You know, there's no things. I don't have an inheritance. My pop died when I was young. I don't have no one, you know, saying looking out for me. So it's like I gotta look out for me. So, but how do you operate like that and not become jaded, you know, and not
Right.
become, you know, hardened, you know? So that's it's just a balance.
Right.
Well, we definitely appreciate you. Hopefully you're gonna stay on with us, but we appreciate you definitely
Yeah, for sure.
tuning in and being with us. What's new and what's up? What do you want people to know that's coming up from you next?
So far what I'm doing is I do a lot of lawyer videos, like the if you've been arrested, you know, give me a call. uh,
Okay.
so you know, yeah, I've been doing. I just got a couple of tomorrow. I'm doing my first product photography job. I got to doing a cigar shop. So
Okay.
but if anybody looking for photography work or looking for videos, talking head videos or anything like that, please give me a call. I'll be happy to work with you. Any budget. I try my best. It's a business, so it is but I'm not about. I understand the entrepreneurial ground on the other side too, so
Well, make sure you give them
Absolutely.
your IG, where to find you.
sure. IG is executive media underscore, that's executive media LLC underscore. And then the website, exact same thing, except minus the underscore. So it's www.executivemediallc.com. My personal page is Zach King 360 Pics. I have a 360 machine as well. I went out and bought a 360.
Oh,
So
Dope.
so yeah, Zach King 360 Pics. So yeah, that's about it. But you know,
All right. Well, thank you, Zach. We truly appreciate you, and
thank
definitely,
you.
hopefully, you're going to be a part of the EBD movement. We got some big things happening and coming, so hopefully, you'll be a part
yeah,
of
for
that.
sure, for sure. Let me know. I'm available. How moving forward. I'm available. I'm around.
All
Appreciate
right, we're
it.
definitely going to be in touch. Thank you for tuning in.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
All right, Kip, it's you, but I'm gonna let one of my other co-hosts read the. We got some love. I know DJB, much love. I think that's one of the producers that we're gonna let Kip talk about. Who else is
I see
on the
Smack.
Red
feature?
Spade is up there. Hey,
Yes.
Spade.
Hey.
Jennifer Smith, thank you from
Hi.
TikTok came through.
Yep.
Um,
Thanks, Freddie. I see you,
Smack,
Freddie, out there.
Smack.
Hey,
are
Smack.
Freddie in the building?
I'm not sure.
You said
I
you
didn't.
said Freddie in the building.
Yep. Yep. That's Mr. Huda.
Okay, Freddie. Okay, Freddie, Mr. Hooter. I want to know that was him. All right. We this the fire part right here. You ready, Kip?
What's
So
good?
back to the main question was, let them know your involvement with EBD movement, why you're a part of it, how did you become an artist on one of the soundtracks that's coming in the future? But the singles are being dropped little by little, inch by inch. And just tell the people about that, and then we'll hit you with the rest.
Well, as far as the movement, I'm part of doing a song for the chapter I picked was King. So I'm writing and doing a song with that with one of my producers that y'all mentioned from So Sick, Be Smooth, and um, I got involved in it. Me and Lisa just connected from the rip. As soon as we met, we connected. We started bonding, started going through people that we knew that was of the same ilk, of people that was in the same industry, just different things like that. And I also style people and artists and things like that. So I had
And you my stylist. Don't I mean I got rib in them too, but let people know that you my stylist now. Because I'm getting ready to rip it up
no, no,
soon.
Ah,
no doubt. So I definitely have styled Lisa as well. So we just started chopping it up. I think initially she didn't even know I was doing music. I used to be in a group, so we did a lot of things as a group. A lot of things that y'all read off. I was in a group from New York. I'm from the South Bronx. Represent BX. What's the word?
up,
143rd.
up.
Um, and I represent a little bit of Harlem too because I was born in Harlem, lived in Harlem, so I always got respect for the G. So I'm kind of say like one raised me and one taught me the game. So, um,
Okay.
but yeah, and with me being a solo artist and was already on the move with doing some things and getting some things in the work, me and Lisa just collabed. It's funny because when I think the same time that Lisa approached me and we was talking about it, I was going through some issues with my grandmother. I had just lost my father. I had just lost my mother. I had just lost my father first. My mother died 2 years later. And my grandmother just died last year on Valentine's Day. And, she literally waited for me to see her before she let herself go. And she was a
Wow.
matriarch, a very strong, sound person in my life, a person that, you know, you couldn't say nothing wrong about God. You know what I mean? That was her thing. So you know what I mean? So she always gave me a lot of sound advice, and I had lost her. So pain, kind of just I was going through my own pain, and what was so interesting about Lisa and what she was saying in that chapter was that you think of pain sometimes in only one way. Somebody getting hurt, somebody falling, whatever. That's the pain. But pain is mental. Pain is physical. Pain is quiet. Pain is loud. So
Mm.
you know what I mean. It was just a pure kind of connection and fit for it. So that's basically how I got down. I know that I don't know if I'm mentioned, but I know that you and Lisa, doing some other things along with the book or whatever that I'm supposed to be a part of, and we're gonna see how it works and let the blessings flow.
I'm still waiting for you to send me that song so I can get my hands working on it.
No doubt, no doubt, no
Mm.
doubt.
Oh right, I forgot about
I
that.
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
I forgot about that. I
yeah,
forgot that. With pain, the chapter. Well, let me say you work with Dougie. Dougie is an amazing
yeah.
dude.
That dude didn't tell us what we was doing until like 10 minutes before going on stage.
You
We're
know
in
what
the,
they say, stay ready.
we're in the limo. He ain't saying nothing. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided yet. And we met him on 123rd and Morningside at a club called Perks. He lived right. He has a brownstone still to this day. Like two doors. I shouldn't be giving that out. Two doors down, but we, you know what I mean. And I'm real cool with his little brother Shaka, and
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
and it
know.
was like, yo, so he had messed with these other cats. I'm not gonna mention the name. This group. They was kind of cool, but he heard us doing acapella joints and stuff like that, and was like, "Yo, I want y'all to jump on this joint with me." And it was crazy because it was him. It was Ice Cube, Louis Farrakhan was speaking at the Armory, right on the 143rd, I believe it was in Manhattan, and it was crazy because it was just like we went at the chill house, picked up DJ, then ran over there, and he still went until like 10 minutes before the show. So it was a lot of fun though, but it kept you on your toes.
Cool.
Yeah, Doug is definitely he's that dude that a lot of people don't realize. He would stop in the middle of the street, talk to you. He's not star. I'm gonna say he's not a that dude
Uh,
that for him to be the
He's not
level of
cocky.
success that he is. He's not cocky. He'll stand right on the corner in Harlem on the street and talk to you.
Yeah,
And a lot of people don't realize that about
yeah, nah,
Doug.
he's yeah.
But with you being, so we know where you are right now. We know what you do. You're a stylist. You work, but you've done some amazing things. So a lot of people don't realize with success. We have that chapter success as well in the
Mm,
book. Um, how is it that you being who you are, the gift and talent you have, do you feel that your situation is a disadvantage or advantage, or what are the two, being the fact that I would think you be in the industry all day?
right. Well, one thing I learned about one thing I think everybody that's going into the industry needs to know is learn about the industry. So coming into so one of my disadvantages that has been the best advantage of my life was having my daughter young. I met her mother, and who I'm still with and love, to young, and when we had a child, it was never in my cards to like run or leave. Like that was never what was going to happen because I always was going to stay at my mines, take care of mines, and love mines to death. So it was a disadvantage in the fact that certain things I had to I had to shut certain things down in order to make positive moves or to make moves that were for that the now. And
Mm-hmm.
but it at the same token, it gave me an unbelievable drive that a lot of people in the industry used to kind of give me a lot of credit for because it was never just about the party in front of me. And when I say we was everywhere. Anybody you could talk about now, I've either and that's not even trying to call, I'm not even mentioning a name, so you won't even know what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying like been in places that that people would love to be in, and it wasn't about that for me. It was like, okay, well, what's next? Like, how are we getting closer to this deal? How are we getting closer to putting this music out? Because I had responsibilities. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how that disadvantage became my advantage because it just strength. I had the strength, but it made me move. So sometimes we could become complacent. So it made me move into doing trying to just get it. So through that, you do some things. Um, you're young, you're going in, and not even just young age. I'm talking about young minded, and you don't have all your business right, and you go in and you do some things, and you get yourself in situations where you should have been way better off now if you handled your business right.
Mm-hmm.
Then and I'm doing good. I'm not trust me, I'm not starving, but I'm at all. But I'm saying like if what I've done could really reflect a different lifestyle.
There's a
Okay, there's
question
a
for you.
question.
Yeah.
Thanks, Liv.
Spade wants to know what moment made you decide what moment this made you decide you was going to keep pursuing your passion.
Who asked that?
They.
Spade.
Spade, red.
Okay. Um, I never really, I never really put it, I never put it down. So what I had to learn was that I had to go back to my roots. So I was never you know, I've been in clubs and I've been at places, but I never was the party hard dude like where that was all that I wanted to do. So that wasn't, but I was still away from my roots. I started, my father put out gospel albums. My aunts, what I mean. I started in church. I started on the choir, and I think that what was happening was that I was getting away from that. And it's not even I think, I know I was because my relationship with God was telling me like, yo, I'm gonna hold you right here because I don't think you're necessarily ready for this right now. And
Mm,
um, I had to, but that's you have to come to terms with that. Like you have to learn to deal with that because you don't want to hear that. So your subconscious tell you that ain't him saying that, or your subconscious tells you like, forget that. He's moving this way. I need to move this way. But and I think that's what Delaware did for me because when we moved here, we have no family here like that. So it was about being regrounded. So I still was singing in church. I was still singing on the choir. I was still singing with male choruses. I was still, writing R&B lyrics and writing this uplifting music. So I never really left. It was just a time where certain people I would come across kept saying like, "Yo, are you going to drop something now that you by yourself, or you know what I mean? like we enjoy what you did, such and such, and I always still had a passion for it. I always had a passion that came also with acting and doing plays and stuff like that because that was who I was. I'm from my haven. Like what I mean, we was clowns from the rip. You know what I mean? So, um, it was always just about just getting back and being in a better position to pursue what I wanted to pursue.
It's funny.
When,
Lisa just had like a confirmation moment because we were having a conversation yesterday about when God tells you to move or tells you not to move, you need
Yeah.
to follow that. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you want to fight it and be like, no, but I want to go this way. And he's telling you no, but I'm telling you to go this way.
Yeah.
And he'll sit you down for a moment.
It would. I mean, I
Um,
used to, I used to, I used to literally just say like, just let a label or let somebody just say like, you can't do it, like you're not good or you're not ready or because it would have made you deal with it better because you could always deal with the fact that I'm not good enough. But what I mean. I've been in so many situations, so many a presidents. Forget just A&R presidents of companies, presidents of this company. We're gonna be here, we're gonna be there, doing shows, doing everything, and it was like God was like, yeah, but I don't know, I don't know,
mhm.
and that I had to come to terms with that. So
and it's funny because I always wanted to be in the forefront, like as far as performing. I never wanted to be behind the scenes. Um, and it was like that's where he kept putting me, constantly putting me behind the scenes, always being the one that was the helper to everybody. And I'm still trying to understand that path, but I understand that that's where he wants me for whatever reason. And now my forefront is somewhere I never thought, which is as an author, a teacher, and all those things. So I totally get that. With the song Pain, and I know I'm going to let Jamel hit you with his questions, but with the song Pain, what does what do you want the people to know what that song is going to be about? What are people going to get when they hear this song Pain?
um, that pain is real. Even when you conquer pain, it doesn't go away. You're still gonna have pain. Um, you just learn how to deal with it, and you learn how to deal with it in a a a better way, an uplifting way, a way because you're gonna go through pain. So like to lose my father, then lose my mother 2 years later, then you lose my grand. Like people always say, oh, like I think subconsciously people don't realize when they say like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's gonna be all right. They don't really know what they're saying unless they've been through that situation because it's not necessarily it's going to be all right, but it's going to be different. So you learn through that pain how to lean on what strengthens you. So whether that be spiritually, whether that be who you might choose your God to be, or whatever I know who mine is. It's that's what it's about. So it's not the pain; it's not going to be there. Um, but you know how to overcome it. You learned how to overcome pain. So
All
Okay.
right. Well,
Yeah.
well, I know that's kind of a segue of what I was actually wanting to get into. Um, I'm familiar with grief. I lost my stepdad, my mother, literally 3 months apart.
mm,
Um, and my stepdad was around since I was 12. So with me being empathetic, but I definitely can feel your shoes as far as how you did it, of what you went through. My question is, how did you stay steadfast going through that grief? Now, mind you, I know with you having a passion and a hobby that can actually be a great outlet and a source to vent and to put feeling into music, was that something that helped, or what were what were some of the other things that actually attributed to you helping to fight through that grief and pain?
um, well, music is definitely therapeutic. Any doctor, any psychiatrist or psychologist will tell you that. But again, I would say is prayer and strong family backing you, a good support system because you don't even realize. I mean, and I'll even say for some people now, I won't I won't say it like I did it, but I had a buddy who went through it. He told me even therapy for him was good. I took it a different level, but black folk and black men don't often think of therapy. We always often say, "Oh, I can't do that," and that wasn't necessarily my case. I had went through more of a religious therapy than he had went through. But I would definitely say you cannot do it alone. A man is not because you're a man. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to mourn. Don't be afraid to to weep because that's also therapeutic to get it out your system to be able to speak about it. I had a friend of mine that told me that went through a situation like that. He said the best thing that helped him was to even speak at the funeral. Like you'd be surprised the load that it gets off you. So with that particular situation, it was me speaking, me being able to confront the situation. And still it's a daily process because that's a situation that every holiday, every birthday, every situation, every accomplishment, every failure, you usually have your parents there to kind of to help you along the way. Now I do have a stepfather, so I don't want to discount him because he's been in my life since I was 13, and he's still alive. He doesn't have my mother now, but he's still alive, and I love him as well. But um, that that's the main thing that that really helped me is just being able to have a count on my family, um, count on and count on prayer from God.
Yeah, I can relate. Um, I know for me, what was weird is I've been through a lot. I experienced a lot of death in my life. So for me, death affects me a different way. And one of my boys that was from the same block that I was affiliated with, um, he actually reached out to me literally like the net like literally like less than 24 hours when he heard my mother pass, and he asked how I was doing, and I was like, "Yo, I haven't even cried yet."
Mm,
And he kind of giggled. He is like, "I'm not laughing at you, but I know the feeling." And he was like, "Because of the life that we lived and what we've experienced, we've gotten callous to it, and it's now to the point now where it's actually the manner of the death that affects us more than the actual death itself."
that's good.
And I had to giggle because my mother passed away in her sleep with a half a glass of wine and her favorite channel on the TV in her favorite chair.
Mm,
Nothing dramatic. It was just like,
yeah,
all right, cool. Um, it was kind of a joke because me and my mother had that kind of relationship to where things was I was raised as a friend, not as a child. So when it all came full circle and I processed it, and it was like I just had to kind of giggle to myself, and I ended up being the one who was consoling more of the people than I was actually needing to get consoled when it came to the funeral. Um, but I just know that with you being an artist and having that creative facet to your to your attributes and talents, I was just wanting to know like that I know that I'm not going to say it's a cheat sheet to help getting over the grief, but I know that with you having that talent, it's kind of like an easy go to or as an avenue to kind of ease the burden a little bit. So like when things start to get hard, was like one of them things like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and listen to some beats. I'm gonna put something down and just get it out. And
right,
next, you just push them vocals out, and
right.
from there might be for you just to keep and not share. But it was just something that was there as a venting or a purge point type thing.
I mean, it was. I mean, I sang at a funeral. I didn't plan on singing at a funeral. My sisters and them, they all sing as well. And and I think Lisa said my god sisters didn't change of faces. So she grew up with us as well, lived in our house as well. We lived right above one another, and they all sang constantly. I was always the backup, and you know, and sing this note, stay on this note, and do this. And because I was younger, I always had a higher note, in which they had higher notes too. So I think it helped me in the long range because that's how my falsetto range is pretty decent. But
So
um, I sang at my mother's funeral and didn't plan on it. My and it was like a wailing. Um, I just remember that I had dudes from my projects that know nothing about cared nothing about the Lord that was representing that was representing at the church of standing outside the door just with their fists up like you ain't gonna do this to me. You ain't gonna do this to me. You know what I mean? They was just cry. It was just like it was such a pouring out And I think that was probably the first time that I really was allowed to really pour out, because initially I was being more supportive of my sisters, my stepdad, my aunts, my, you know what I mean, and I never really got a chance to really grieve as much as I probably would have. And I think as a man that sometimes you do that, and not even necessarily. I won't even want to just place it on just saying a man, but someone who's maybe a prominent figure or is used to always kind of having it together in the family, and then when time like this come, everybody kind of leans on that situation, or
Right.
so yeah, so um, that was a surprise for a lot, because I just was talking about her, and then I went into song just off of something she used to always tell me. So yeah, definitely it is therapeutic. I think sometimes I do, if I'm writing, and depending on musically, because music moves me. So depending on the beat, depending on the melody, sometimes I can draw from that. A lot of times I can draw from that pain.
I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing though, because I know it's something that a lot of people it's tough to share, but I definitely want to big you up for that, man.
No doubt.
All right, Kip, I got one more question for you. How helpful did you feel the book was, and do you feel that it's needed for the community?
It was, I think it's extremely helpful. I know Lisa probably don't even think this, but I think it's more helpful that she put the book out at the age that she is now than she would have done it even as a teenager. Because, or as you know, I mean, because I think, like, she that's it takes so much strength to put that in the book, to expose yourself, because when you do that, you're exposing yourself for to ridicule, as well as to accolades, or people just or strength. So um, that's because it's so much in our society right now that I don't think people recognize that. I mean, I looked at it and read the book and was like, there might have been some things I was dealing with that I'm recognizing until now, until I'm reading the book. I think that a lot more people, men and women, can relate to it. So it's totally relatable. Um, and it's an easy read. So I think when you read it, you can dive into self and just really start seeing things that you might have been going through, things that and it can be parallel. It doesn't even have to be exactly what she went through, but it's
Right.
opening doors to other things that you've been dealing with, but you didn't even realize until you start diving into self, when you're reading about that, about the pain that you might have went through. And like I said, pain comes in many different forms, loud and quiet. So I think that I think it was extremely um, uh, and I think it was a very good time for the book, and I think it's going to do well, because everybody's trying to be woke, but this really puts puts it out there. So I think people should really one, enjoy it, and definitely look forward to reading it.
Okay.
Well, Kip, we appreciate you coming to the show.
Definitely.
We look forward to the great things that's coming that we're going to be announcing soon. Please tell people where they can find you, and we get ready to come to an end in a minute. But let the people know where they can find you.
Well, basically, I just restarted my IG because I had some issues with that.
No wonder I
Definitely.
couldn't find you.
Yeah, yeah. You could. You probably see it now. It's still being developed. You could probably see it now at Kip Lee 143. I'm on Twitter as well, and I'm not on Facebook though.
But we gotta get you on there.
Yeah.
But to our people who tuned into the show, to EBD, all of us truly appreciate it.
I'm sorry, at Kip
Again,
Lee 07 at Twitter. I think I said I'm on Twitter, but I never said what it was.
okay, got you.
Okay.
We want to give all our people who tune into the show a shout out from us. Thank you
Wait,
so much.
before we do that,
Thank you,
I
bro.
promise I'm gonna give my brother a special shout out because he's special. He sent me a big
Okay.
Wawa cup shout out. So hey Corey.
Hey,
Hey,
Corey.
Corey.
What up, Corey?
Um, Lisa Ward, your host. Go live.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Olivia Tashay. Oops.
Emil Bay.
And I'm Kip Shu. I appreciate it.
We out, guys. Y'all have a good one to the next episode. Next week,
Enjoy.
June 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place, same time.
Same back
Don't be
channel.
square.
Peace.